What is up, guys? Welcome to Cerny Gaming. If you want to help support the channel, then go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Today we're going to be checking out a Magicka DPS build for the brand new Arcanist class. So far this has been a tricky endeavour, but with a lot of research and practice I've got the perfect build for you, hitting over 105k DPS. This setup actually takes on a whole new approach to DPS, using a brand new mythic item to completely remove the damaging ability of light and heavy attacks, but grants us a ton of raw damage to our skills. So let's get started with the core details. The race we'll be using here is the High Elf, which brings the most to the table in terms of raw damage and allows us to hit those big numbers really easily. Next up is our food buff, which will be the Ghastly Eyeballs. This gives us the most max Magicka and magical recovery available, which translates directly into damage done. The Munderstone is an important part on any DPS build, and in this case we'll be using the Thief, boosting our critical chance by a lot. We won't be using standard spell power potions on this one. Instead, we'll be using this special Essence of Speed, which is specifically used for the Minor Heroism, which we can get 100% uptime on, boosting our ultimate output. We don't get any Magicka return here, but we don't actually need it because the sustain on this build is actually really good. Starting in the Warfare section, your champion points will be Backstabber, Master at Arms, Thaumaturge and Biting Aura, boosting all of our primary damage types by a lot. Over in the Fitness section, we'll be making use of Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation and Siphoning spells to boost our survivability and sustain. Now that we've covered the core details, let's check out the gear. Our first set will be Deadly Strike, which significantly boosts the damage output of all damage over time and channeled abilities, which Arcanists have in spades. Next up is Perfected Wall of the Depths, which is a tried and true DPS set that brings a ton of damage to the table and is really easy to keep up with super simple proc conditions. On the back bar we have the Maelstrom Inferno Staff, boosting the power of our Wall of Elements by a lot with very little input. If you can't get the perfected version, then don't worry too much, you'll barely see a DPS difference with just the normal version. On the head we use a one-piece Slime Craw to bring some extra critical chance to the table. This happens to be the biggest crit chance boost from a single item, so use Slime Craw specifically. Finally we have the new special mythic item, the Velothi Mage Amulet, if I'm saying that right. This decreases our light attack and heavy attack damage by a massive 99%, but grants us a flat 15% damage boost in PvE and also provides minor courage at all times as well. Moving on, we have our skills. Now on the front bar we use Escalating Rune Blades, Cephaliarch's Flail, Inner Light, Exhausting Fate Carver, Scalding Rune and Dawnbreaker of Smiting, and on the back bar we have Unstable Wall of Fire, Fulminating Rune, Inner Light again, Degeneration, Inspired Scholarship and the Languid Eye. Escalating Rune Blades is a simple ranged spammable that generates crux, which is an important part of our class mechanic economy. Next up is Cephaliarch's Flail, which serves as a substantial debuff, allowing us to deal 5% more damage to the opponent. The skill also has an execute mechanic, beginning to deal more damage when the enemy is below 50% health. But most importantly, we also generate crux with this ability. We have Inner Light on both bars to passively provide Major Prophecy and Max Magicka, which is always useful and means that we don't need to use spell power potions here. Exhausting Fate Carver is the most substantial and important skill in the Arcanist toolkit. This deals tremendous damage and has a long duration, both of which are extended for each crux that it consumes. It can be tricky to pin down how to work this into a rotation, but once you get it, you get great results. We slot Scalding Rune for a nice extra damage boost and a hefty increase to our chance of activating the Burning status effect, which Arcanists make great use of due to the increased status effect damage passive. We don't actively use Dawnbreaker or Smiting, it's actually just here to boost our damage passively through the Fighter's Guild skill line. Unstable Wall of Fire deals a ridiculous amount of damage due to the Maelstrom Inferno Staff, and I recommend doing everything that you can to keep this up as much as possible. It's okay to reapply it a second or two early if that's how your rotation works, because what is lost in the damage over time will be gained in extra explosions. Fulminating Rune is a damage over time effect that if mobs are near the initial target when you cast it will affect them too. It also deals an area burst of damage after a delay, and the synergy it provides can actually be activated by multiple allies. Degeneration is a simple damage over time effect that helps to boost our damage output. But if you would rather use Mystic Orb here, then it's fine to switch that in instead. While Inspired Scholarship doesn't work in the same way as other damaging skills, it does periodically boost our other Arcanist skills with extra damage. It also passively provides major sorcery and will periodically generate a crux when using an Arcanist skill if we have none yet available. Our active ultimate is the Languid Eye, which is a visually stunning skill that pummels enemies in a small area from above for 6 seconds, increasing in damage each half second. If your target moves, aim at their location and use the ultimate again while it's still active, and it will move over to them. The rotation on Arcanist is tricky to master since it brings things to combat that we've never actually seen before. Fate Carver has a very long duration, which can make it tricky to manage your other skills, and the Crux economy can be a pain to wrap your head around. There is no set static rotation to enjoy, but once you do get your head around this incredibly dynamic approach to DPS, it will produce some actually insane results that will be a favourite to DPS players. Now we're going to take a look at a pass to see just how this build looks in action. Take note of how Fate Carver is worked in relation to the other damage over time effects, and keep an eye on the cruxes floating around the character. Thanks very much, guys. If you want to help support the channel, then don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and drop your thoughts into the comment section below. Take care, and as always, have fun.